Hello, everybody. Kelly here, the angel lady. So, the winter solstice is approaching fast, and we're all preparing for it. And as we do so, tapping into the vibration of Lemuria is part of the process. So, we received these beautiful 8 eggs in class where we went in and received light coming into them to activate them, from miracles to cosmic frequencies to inner earth vibrations. But one of them was going back and healing and connecting to ancient civilizations, to seed points where the vibration was really luminous and beautiful and loving, and miracles were happening, and there was telepathic communication, and we were, in a sense, what we call already embodying on many levels our divine human self, our avatar self, while still being here on the planet, on Earth, going through time and space. And so, as we prepare for the winter solstice, which is, by the way, at 12 o'clock on December 21st, and on that day, both myself and Emilio Ortiz and Pam Gregory will be gathering with thousands of people. And we will be working through and sharing information, and I will be doing a channeling as we birth our divine avatar self into consciousness, as we unify and come into coherence as one heartbeat of a beautiful collective family of light. And you can still join us, and that, by the way, is donation based. It's open to everyone. No one is left out. So if you want to join, please look below and I'll leave a link. But in preparation for that, attuning to our Lemurian self, and the seeds of that beauty and that sweetness during that time will help us to start to tune into remembering, because so much of this is about remembering, right? Awakening, releasing old patterns of illusion and forgetting, so that we can come online and merge with our avatar self. And within that avatar, within that divine part, that new human of who we are, there are these frequencies of Lemuria, and swimming with the dolphins, and being luminous beings, and connecting with the stars and the inner earth beings, and healing miraculously and creating instantaneously. So I have here an activation for you guys to listen to. You can just close your eyes, lay back, and feel the frequencies and tune in. And it just takes you on this sweet journey and this unfolding, to remember what it was like to be in Lemuria. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you soon on the winter solstice. And I'm sending you much love. All right? Mwah, and take care. Bye, guys.
Hello, hello. It is that I am delighted to be here with all of you, as you will be receiving these transmissions from beings that are your old star sisters and brothers. And it is that you are so magnificent, my dear, sweet star seed beings. And we are so grateful from where it is that we are, that you are journeying to do this work and to be with all of us. And it is that we are accompanied tonight by the beings that dwell and live inside Telos, and they are extraordinarily and deeply grateful for those of you who have visited Mount Shasta recently, who have placed crystals and stones inside the water. Because as you were doing this, and this clearing of these crystals and the blessing of this water occurred, this beautiful water was able to flow. And as it flowed, it made itself all the way to the Pacific Ocean. And as it went into the ocean, there was a love that radiated out into the water. And it was received and heard and known by the sentient beings, the dolphins and the whales, as they began to approach and come closer, hearing the call. And so they are here this evening, and very delighted to play with all of you and to love all of you, and to remind you of a time in which you were with them and you swam with them beneath the deep sea. And it is that these beings that are here, in addition, is Adama, and the vibration and the beautiful goddess of the sea of Sheila, who works with the dolphin temples and the activations and those vibrations associated with Lemuria. And as these energies and vibrations are here this evening and present for all of you, they are wanting to remind you and talk to you for a few moments about what it was like when you lived in Lemuria. Where many of you have forgotten, and yet although you're here right now in this distant land, in this time, knowing who it is that you are, there is a recessed memory deep within your being that knows of the time as the ancient ones walked upon the land, and you walked with them. And so we want to remind you for a moment what it was like there, because it is that we understand that you are releasing and clearing the energy and the vibration of victimhood, and yet that vibration of victimhood could not be or even exist, for it was not even a word that was known at the time of Lemuria, for it was that the divine feminine was fully activated to its fullest. And it is that it is such a distant memory of such an ancient and old time that there is this forgetting of what it was like. And so Adama would like to come and remind you for a moment before you travel with him down into the Dolphin temples, where it is that you shall receive your Lemurian crystal to remember who you are. But before you're doing that, he wants to come in and say hello for a moment. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for those visiting our mountain and calling in the dolphin energy. You do not remember me, but I am an old friend, and I came and visited you the other night, and as I spoke, I said we would welcome you into Telos, to a place in which you could remember who you are. And I said that I was reluctant to do so, and I want to take that back, for when I came home and spoke to my beings around and my fellow citizens, they said, "Why did you say that, Adama?" And I said, "Well, because we have worked so very hard and prepared for so very long to open our doors to our dear star seed sisters and brothers. But I did it with reluctancy, knowing that you were ready to receive the vibrations that will inundate you with such love." And they said, "But you must remember, Adama, for if they were not ready, they would not be here." And I said, "Of course, how silly of me to have such hesitation. So I want you to know that we are welcoming you with open arms into our great crystalline city. But before we do that, we want to stir a memory, because you may have forgotten, you see, but coded inside the cells in the body you live in now, and deep in the DNA, what may be seen or thought of as asleep or junk are the stories and the times and the moments you have lived with us. And we lived a very different life, you and I, and all of you together then in Lemuria than you do now, and even very different than I do now here in Telos, as I await the return of such beautiful energy. Because it was a time in which we floated. We did not even touch the ground with our feet, for we were on the earth and yet not of it, as we moved across very easily and sliding. And as we did this, we were fully and completely transparent. And when I say we were transparent, you might start to remember us and each other passing by as we walked and floated through. It was that we could see inside each other, For inside of us were crystals that lived and dwelled like organs do now, and they were coated with light and with love. We had chakras like you have today, but they were seen with the naked eye outside of the body, as was the aura and the light around. And when you were walking by and you could see one perhaps was not spinning in another, you would nod to them or bring them to a temple to be healed. You could feel and know everything that was felt in another because the web that connected you was seen. It was not invisible as it is now. For you knew the web of the light that moved and passed through each of you like a plasma of rainbow fractals. And it was that in that time you spoke without the word or the voice, for the voice was saved for very sacred moments and times when you would tone and work with harmonics and vibration. When you first arrived, you came, some of you, as color and others as shape and sound, and then you began to form yourself into a form that you know of similar to that of now, but much taller and lighter and wider, as your eyes were large and white and blue, and it was that your heart was open and free and clear, for you could move about freely from one place to another with the instant of a thought, and you could feel and speak with the quietness of your tongue. For you lived in round temples, and each one had a name. You carried upon your chest a necklace and a stone, for you were in different clones, or perhaps you might call them clans, and communities that had their own way. For some of you were the ones that healed, and others the ones that sewed or cooked. There were places and work for all and each, and yet there was no higher or less, for you did this all knowing that you were one in the same. And as you walk through this ancient land, you are a part of the stars and the sea, for you could go into the sea and open your eye. The third eye allowed you to breathe as your feet turned into what you might think of as a way to float and move. You could hear and talk to the sentient beings, the dolphins and the whales, and you could come out of the sea onto the land and move into the stars as the star's dust floated down upon you, talking to the beings above that you might name today as the Sirians, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the light beings of love. And so during that time, there was no ego, there was no lying, there was no better or worse or greater or less than. There just was. For you operated from the emotional level, the intuitive level, the divine feminine, the etheric, the artistic, and the open-hearted. Your heart was actually on your sleeve, and the heart of the earth you could feel as you walked upon the earth. As you walked there, you could feel the beating of the earth. You could hear the plants sing and talk as you walked by, for you were friends, and the trees would reach out with their arms and hold you and embrace you in a time of need, for they too spoke and whispered to you in a way that you knew what they needed. And so in this time, the crystals were alive. They were inside of you, and they spun and talked and created and recorded. And it was a different way of being than you know now, and yet you remember it on some deep level. And yet many of you now feel transparent as you awaken to the authenticity of who you are. And that is why the sounds and colors and food sometimes overwhelm you, making you wonder why you are here in the density of this earth. As you awaken the DNA of the star seed that dwells within from the time of Lemuria, you reawaken these gifts, and as they awaken upon the planet, it is your turn now. It is your turn now to be able to utilize them, to see the web of life that connects you all as one, to honor the animals, the minerals, the plants, and one another as you begin to unify back into one heart. And so I come from the deep city beneath the earth of Telos today, as I have been waiting for thousands and thousands of years for this moment in time, when enough of you are beginning to awaken and stir, that we may come out and invite you in, to come with us and to play, to move and to see the temples where we live, because they are not ours but yours. For you were the courageous one who chose to descend further into form. You were the ones that chose to relive over and over the hardship of being human. And now the game has come to completion, and it is time to come home. And so we are here to welcome you home, deep into the mountain. So know that as we go on this journey tonight and you open up your crystal to see inside and to remember who you are, that whatever you see is divine and perfect, for know that we are imprinting upon you within your cell as we spin it and open it to the remembering and the awakening of who you are. And as we float over now, we ask you to rest your eyes long and deep as you begin to feel your eyelids heavy as they fall deep into the recesses of your head. And as you continue to breathe in and out, you let go of all the things as they float down the river's edge far away from where you are. It is time now for us to go on a journey together as we invite you into our hearts. And so I say to you, come with me now. Do you see me? I am tall and I radiate the color blue like a baby blue in the sky. My eyes are crystalline and blue and my hair is white as snow. And it is that I hold a crystal in my hand, one that is there for you to know. So come now, my dear, dear children, come with me as I hold your hand, as we go down past the mountain, through the streams and rivers' edge, to the edge of the water near the ocean, as you hear the lapping come ashore. And as you hear the lapping, my sweet dear friends, the dolphin light, they start to come and approach. So come with me, for we are cascading a cocoon of light upon you that is a magic in a way that transports you to the time of Lemuria, knowing who you are. And in that time you could go deep within the water with no fear of any kind, knowing it was your home as much as the land, for you could breathe just as easily. So do not be afraid, for we have brought you into our sphere. And as you are in our sphere, you hold the keys that we carry that allows you now to come with us. So follow me down the shore. As you go down deep beneath, feel yourself walking into the ocean's edge. And as you walk, you begin to feel the water coming up above, knowing that the temperature is divine and perfect for you now. And as your head begins to be emerged beneath the water, you can see as clear as crystal as you can upon the land, and breathe with ease and grace beneath the sea. And as you look ahead, you see the dolphins coming, for they are so delighted to be invited for this journey. And as they come, they start to spin all around your feet, feeling them playing as their joy and light emanates from their being. And as you feel it emanating out, they tuck themselves under you, and before you know it, you are sitting upon the dolphin as it begins to swim through the water. And as it swims, it says, "Hello, my name is Mira, and I am here to bring you back to the ancient dolphin temple." And with great delight, you float through the water playfully with Mira as she guides you through the ocean deep beneath the sea. And as you look, you see her dear friends, the whales, as they are all around, the essence of their being and the strength of who they are. They lead Mirror and the dolphin pods and all of you ahead as you begin to come closer and approach the dolphin temple now. And as you come closer, they lift you up upon the sand. And as you stand there and look ahead, you see this beautiful dolphin temple. It is emanating light like colors of a rainbow, fractals all upon you, glistening in the sun. And as you move toward it, you see that I am there, standing, waiting for you, with my robe in hand. Look at me and see how light and etheric I am, for you notice the tallness of my being and the sweetness of my style. My heart is out upon my sleeve, and you can see through me, for everything that I am and have ever been is transparent to you. For you do not even need to hear my words, for you can feel and know what I am sharing, which is the love within my heart to greet you back home from where you've come. And as I sit here waiting now and looking at all of you, look to my left and see my dear Sheila, as she holds inside her hand the largest, most magnificent crystal, the Lemurian crystal, of course. And as she holds it dear to her heart, as she is ready now, as you come up to her to hand it to you, and as you walk toward her, looking in her eyes that are green and filled with light and love, she takes this beautiful Lemurian crystal, the one that has lived and dwelled within her, that holds the records and the remembering of the ancient times in which you've walked with her along these beautiful edge shores of the ocean's edge. And as you look at her, she looks to you, and there is a deep remembering and a deep knowing that you are old, dear friends. And she hands you now a crystal, and you take it in your hand and bring it to your heart as you begin to feel a sense of glee and joy beyond you know. And with that, she says, follow me. And as you carry your crystal, you move with her, and I come along as well as we go deep into the dolphin temple. And you see the colors emanating all around, and upon the floor there are crystals everywhere. These are the seed crystals. These are what you were seeded from, where you were born, in the stars that came. And as you look upon the floor, it's like looking out into the distant sky of the galaxy and the Milky Way, as far as you can see, and yet somehow you do not need to touch it, for you begin to see that you are floating, and yet you are still here. And as you do this, you look, and there are little stars twinkling everywhere, and one is calling out to you. And as you find it and move close, beings start to appear and to come out to say hello. These are your star sisters and brothers from the home in which you came. And as they come closer, they welcome you with welcoming arms, holding you close and dear and tight. As they sit down next to you upon the golden cushion, they say to you, now look, my dear one, into the Lemurian crystal. And as you hold the crystal to your heart, you start to feel its edge, the ridges upon it, and the records kept from the time long past ago. And so sit now with it for a moment as it becomes alive, for know that this crystal has a story to tell. And it is yours, the story of your life in Lemuria. So take a moment now and hold it tight. As it opens, it shows you the time in which you lived, and watch where it is that you are and what it is that you are doing. And as you walk this ancient land of Lemuria, you begin to see yourself floating, And you begin to remember that you can see each other in a way you have never seen before. That when you look at another, you see the colors and their aura, their light. You feel and know what they feel and sense. You are there to love them because you know that they are you. You see the blooming and the blossoming of the gardens and the flowers, the crystals that are alive and speaking, and the trees playing and whistling in the wind, the dolphins jumping in the distance, and the whales coming up with their spout. You remember the beauty of this place, the stone underneath your feet as it is alive and yet distant and far, knowing that you are between the worlds of the star and the earth, feeling the heartbeat of the galaxy, the heartbeat of your own, and the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Knowing now that this time is a place in which you have walked and lived and dwelled, this crystal carries this knowing inside it, and it is being energetically implanted now within your heart, so that every time your heart begins to beat, in which we know beats quite often as it should, that you will continue to remember and remember these times and embody the vibration of this love. For this was a time of love beyond words, and a time in which you carry these codes now. Know that these codes of love and these teachings and rememberings of ancient past shall come back with you now to where you are. And as you hold this crystal, as it is implanted and sewn beneath and in the heart, it is there, and it will only access to you love and joy and bliss. And so with that now the dolphins come and they say, can you swim with us some more? For we want to take you to the most special place that ever has been. And you say, yes, of course, please take me there. And as you see them, they are approaching, and you get to jump on the back of one, as Mira is here laughing and in her playfulness. And as you swim through the deep ocean water with her, you continue to laugh and play in the openness of her heart. And as you move closer now, you begin to see that many thousands of dolphins are in a circle, a pod, swimming in around and around and around. And as they do this, they are creating a force of a whirlwind, of a swirling vibration like a spiral or a pool of water going down a drain. And as it moves faster and faster and faster, you look inside the depth of it, and it is a deep, dark blue, like a cobalt blue. And inside of that, they say to you, the dolphins want to give you a gift. And they each have a gift for you, and they tell you that you can have 12. For this is not only the beautiful temple dolphin energy, but it is also the temple of free will and choice. And they say to you that all they ask of you is that every morning before you place your feet upon the earth, as you lay in bed, you say, today I choose. Today I choose. Today I choose. So that you begin to remember that you choose, that you have free will, that you are the master creator of whatever it is that you are wanting. And as they spin and you see this vortex in the depth of its blue waters, they say to you now that you may choose 12 gifts for yourself. And as you choose them, you will say them out loud. And as you say them out loud, they will drop into this spinning, spinning vortex of blue, cobalt-rich water, and where they are spiraled down into the depths of the ocean floor, with the dolphins spin them, and then they project them into the holographic field so that they may rain like raindrops of light down upon you into a fractal pattern of what it is that you desire. And so you may choose that I choose today vitality and health. I choose openness or joy or bliss. I choose perfection within inside the cells of my being to be filled with divinity and light. I choose abundance, which is my birthright. I choose the ability to see and to love, to forgive and to let go. I choose to heal. I choose to be open. I choose to be in love. I choose to honor nature. I choose to forgive. I choose. And so now that you hear a few of the examples in which you can choose from, and the plenty of more, whatever may come to mind, we will give you the count of 12, and as we count, you shall choose, and as you choose, you shall allow the vibration of the disk of the energy in which you are spinning to fall down into the vortex as the beautiful dolphins spin it into the holographic field through the Lemurian vibration of the divinity of the feminine. And so it is. And so we shall begin. I choose 1. I choose 2. I choose 3. I choose 4. I choose 5. I choose 6. I choose 7. I choose 8. I choose 9. I choose 10. I choose 11. I choose 12. And now they come up, and as they dance and play and frolic through the water, splashing in the joy of who they are, they say to you, now, my dear ones, as you awaken and open your eyes in the morning before your feet land upon the earth, you are to repeat the 12 choices in which you have made. I choose today 1. I choose today 2, and so on. Or perhaps you will write it on a pad, the codes of light in which you choose. And you will choose this for as long as your choice is what you desire, until perhaps a new choice will come, in which you can begin to revisit this magnificent temple of light, in which the dolphins will come from the ocean's edge again to spin, to receive your wish, to holographic back at you, like a sonar of energy and light. I choose. And now that this is complete, you may begin to feel a little dizzy, so we ask you to just begin to sit down in the temple as we begin to slow down, and the spinning energy stops, for the collection of everything you chose now has gone down deep into the ocean floor, so that it may be projected back out into the holographic field to rain down like droplets of love upon you, so that you may receive this each and every day. For remember, dear ones, you are old and ancient, and as you floated through the land of ancient Lemuria, there wasn't anything to choose because everything just was. And you could instantaneously create and manifest anything at all with the thought and the intent aligned with the love that you carried. And the vibrations that you have been releasing and letting go of victimhood or guilt or shame or lack, they do not even know these names in Lemuria, for they do not exist. Because how could they, as you were transparent and healed? As soon as something started to move out of kilter, it was seen because you were completely transparent. And this transparency allowed you to heal and to love and to remember and to be. And it is that the vibration of these records have been kept so that now you can reacquaint yourself with them, so you can realign with them, and so they can be activated in you. And so, my dear ones, you have been given a Lemurian crystal now in your heart. And every time it beats, you're activating more and more of this divine feminine Lemurian light. And you have been given the choice of I choose today to live, to embody, to feel, to have, to know your 12 choices. And now the dolphins want to pour water down into the top of your head. And this is not just any kind of water. This is Lemurian crystalline water. It actually looks like liquid gold. For when they lived and walked upon this land, as you did during the time of Lemuria, most of what you consumed to nutrients for the body was of liquid gold. And as it pours now through the top of your head, it moves through your crown and your third eye and down all of your body systems, lighting it back up and reacquainting it with who you are. And so when you're ready, we want you to feel Mira coming for you. Do you see her beautiful face and her smile as she giggles and swims underneath you, nudging? Climb upon her back now as you look through and swim through the beautiful crystal water. At rapid speed, you come to the shore where you entered. And as she lets you off, you begin to walk up and out of the water. And now you are on land. Do you see me there? I am waiting for you. Do you see Sheila? We are wearing purple robes now. We carry a scepter. And we're going to take you now to Telos, to meet your old friends. So come walk with us across the land. And as we walk, we begin to climb. And as we climb up and up, we start to come near as you begin to feel the energy and the vibration of Mount Shasta. And we're going to take you down deep through the forest into the woods, across the big rocks. And as you move past the rocks, you'll notice that they have certain shapes, and they are vibrating in energy. As you place your hand upon these big boulders, you can feel the vibration of the dolphins and the whales. These are record keepers of this time. They may look like ordinary rocks, but as you awaken your senses to the higher realms, to the Lemurian remembering, you will see they are not just boulders in the forest, but they speak, and they have lots to say. They are the ancient ones. And inside of them are eggs, and inside these eggs are teachings and rememberings. And as you walk through, you will see that some of them are rocks and boulders, but others are ancient beings disguised as boulders. And these are entranceways into Mount Shasta. But you cannot find your way in unless your senses are attuned unless your heart of the crystalline light of the Lemurian crystal has beaten enough, that you've activated enough of the Lemurian remembering to utilize your senses to know where the rocks live. And as you feel them calling to you, you will go over to one. And as you place your hand upon it, you will hear its call. As it speaks to you, it says, the key to coming inside, to finding your way into Telos, is the golden key around your neck. And that key is the key of love. And without pure intention and love, you will never feel or know your way. But with it, you will see the door shall open for you. And so come with us now, as you radiate and feel the pulsating love within your heart. Open the doorway to the boulder as you begin to travel down, down, falling deeper and deeper and deeper into the core of the mountain until you land in a green, mossy area with water trickling down. And you look over to your right and you see that there is a cave. And as you open your heart more with the intention of love, you see there is a little crack in the door as the light peers through. And as you walk over to it and place your hand on the door and begin to push it open, the light that comes out is overwhelming. And you may step in now. You may come in to Telos. Hello. And as you open the door, you see the ceilings are so high that you cannot see how high they are. The light is so bright. And we stand there welcoming you in our foyer. Do you see, my friends and my fellow sisters and brothers, the Lemurian beings of Telos? We stand here before you, welcoming you to our home. We wear golden and violet robes. We hold scepters and crowns and teachings of science and math, of agriculture, of technology, of healing, of love, of art, of history. We say to you, hello and welcome. You may come and visit us at night during your dream time whenever you wish. And as you stand there naked and ready for us to appear, know that a master may present itself to you, one in which is aligned with your vibration, to guide you on a journey through our crystalline city. And so you start to see the faces and feel our energy and know who we are. For we shall work together more and travel through this city, learning and exploring as we learn from you and you from us. We begin to merge our civilizations to teach you our ways, so that that what happened in our old and ancient land will not happen again upon your earth, that you may find ways to hear the teachings and the knowings from deep beneath the earth and from the stars above, and that with the combination and the cooperation and the collaboration of all, that you may pass through this cycle of earth changes this time, unscathed from cataclysm, merging back into the divine. So we will save the rest of our visit for another time. But we wanted to introduce you to our home. So you may come and visit now. You know your way and the entrance way in. And we will hold you in our foyer for a while until we all become acquainted, till you begin to know us well and we know you. And when the time is right, we will travel deeper into our city and show and teach you the ways into our sacred temples, where you will reawaken and remember what you already know. Thank you for visiting. While you are here, we are showering you energetically with the divine feminine golden ray of love. And the vibration and the energy of forgiveness. That you may have forgiveness now in your heart for anyone who has ever harmed you in this lifetime, any lifetime before this, or any time in between lifetimes. The vibration of forgiveness is washing over you. And the energy of victimhood no longer dwells in your being, for cannot live in these vibrations where they do not even know that word, where it has no place to survive, it has no food to fuel it, where it is starved of oxygen. It does not exist in this light. So carry this light now with you home as you embrace these gifts that you have received. You know we will return again when the time is right. And so now you may turn and look toward the door as it opens wide, and you go back out into the grass of the mossy dark area with the trickling waterfall. And you can begin to climb now up out of this area, and as you climb up, you come up to the sunlight. As you see the boulders and the rocks and the pine trees, as the snow is melting and the crocuses are beginning to appear upon the beautiful water's edge. Looking at the mountain in the distance, feeling the power of its love for you, knowing this is a place that you may come whenever you need healing and support. And so with that, you may begin now to start to move back into the earthly plane in which you dwell, knowing you have brought with you many gifts, the Lemurian crystal embedded in your heart, the knowledge of the entranceway to our home in Telos, and the 12 gifts that are your choice. These gifts are activated when you say every morning, I choose, remembering that one of the gifts given to you on planet Earth is the gift of free will. You are a master of your universe, the master of all that is, the love that all that is, as above, so below. Many greetings as the dolphins now say thank you as they go back into the ocean, frolicking around and splashing. Mirror wants you to know that anytime you like to jump on her back and go for a swim and into the dolphin temple, that she is happy to guide you there. And now with that, you can gently start to bring your awareness back to the here and now, knowing that you are bringing back with you the vibration of Lemuria and all of these magnificent and beautiful gifts. And slowly start to bring awareness to the physical body that you are in. Moving your head side to side. Moving your fingers and toes. Knowing that you are safe, refreshed, revitalized, and filled with love.